Hi folks. 2 days ago on October 19th, I attended a public meeting for the Florida Board of Education in Orlando. The agenda included the approval of some amended rules, the most controversial ones having to do with censorship of award-winning books in school libraries, the rights of transgender students to use the bathroom facilities of their self-identified gender, and finally the attacks on honest education with the arrival of the Anti-Woke Act. Unfortunately, the meeting took place between 9 and noon on a school day, so there were very few teachers and students in attendance. It was clear that the voice of the teachers was not what they were looking for that day. Still, I believed it was important to show up and to voice my disapproval of these rules. Each person was allotted 1 minute to speak. The timer beeped for me after 45 seconds, and I knew that there were a few points that I really needed to make. I asked if I could have just 2 minutes to share my statement, since so few teachers were represented, and this issue directly impacts us. But at that point, some people in the audience tried shouting me down, but I kept talking. I didn't deliver the whole speech, obviously, but definitely I tried to get in a few important points. It was hard to be heard over all the rudeness. I'm glad that I insisted on speaking, because truth can't be told in short one-liners, and certainly not this time. So I'm going to read to you now the contents of the statement I meant to deliver 2 days ago. But it's really a statement for all parents and educators to hear. Honest teaching is being undermined by those who want to infuse their politics into our public schools. I think they have the long game in mind, and they want to control the conversation about American history. The ignorance of their supporters is frustrating, but the true malice lies in the intent of those who have pushed this measure in Florida and are now doing the same on the national stage. Side note, with my speech, I did change a paragraph at the end and a few words here and there because it was redundant. But here's my speech. My name is Carmela DeToma. I'm a veteran teacher with over 30 years of classroom experience. I've taught in both parochial and public schools, and I currently and proudly teach in one of Orange County's Title I high schools. And I object to Rule 6A-10.081. It's clearly an election year because the current governor wants to look like a fighter, fighting for the latest so-called grassroots group of parents crying out about freedoms that they say are being snatched away. But really, he's just out there slaying a mirage of his own making, of his party's making. The Florida Board of Education has not a single educator on it. Every member is appointed by a governor, and you all represent the same political party. So allow me to address you as one mind. With rules like this, you're going after public school teachers, accusing us of perpetrating some socialist, elitist agenda. This is just a tired old tactic of creating a problem where there is none, leading to unnecessary chaos, and then trying to look busy legislating or rubber stamping horrible ideas. To pass this rule, you need to convince yourself that we educators are doing something that we aren't. When we teach American history, we don't point fingers and lay blame on the young faces before us. Teachers don't teach guilt. I submit that it's the GOP that wants to rewrite history and play some sort of long game. They want to reframe the U.S. history curriculum in a way that projects only a perspective they prefer. When he touted the Anti-Woke Act, Governor DeSantis said that it was time that tax money no longer be spent teaching hate in public schools. But let's be perfectly clear, teachers don't teach hate. We teach history so that mistakes of the past aren't made again. We're not the ones indoctrinating anyone, but it looks like Governor DeSantis wants to. Since when should a governor stick his hands in public school curricula? It's outrageous. And if a Democratic governor had pulled these antics, you'd be falling over yourselves in a frenzy. And speaking of wasting taxpayer money, it should not be okay to time and time again pass laws that wind up being challenged in court because of their wrong-mindedness. But I'm sure that all of you are most likely going to vote in favor of this political agenda, and it will be implemented in the public schools. You and I do agree on one thing: a teacher's personal, religious, and political beliefs should be kept out of classroom lessons. So why are you making us teach yours? As an educator, I know how vitally important it is to protect my students. Every student must feel safe and accepted no matter who they are, where they come from, or what they believe. But every student deserves a quality education. We educators must not be villainized for teaching honestly. We are the good ones. Don't be confused.